Hey, APUSHers, with 62 days left before the APUSH exam, this is what I would do to make sure that I was prepared. Over the last several days, we've been going through the components of the APUSH writing sections, and today I want to talk about the evidence points for the DBQ and the LEQ. Now, in yesterday's video, we addressed the document evidence points. So for the DBQ, this is called the outside evidence point, which you can see here. Now, because the LEQs don't have any documents, they don't call it outside evidence, they just call it evidence, and you can see that part of the rubric here. So, for the DBQ, you just need to address one piece of relevant evidence. And so the best tip I have for doing this is to, before you even look at the documents, when you're just reading the prompt and kind of planning out your essay, I want for you to brainstorm what you know about the prompt. The reason why you should do this before looking at the documents is because once you've viewed them, your brain kind of tunnels in and you have a hard time thinking about things outside of it. And so for a lot of students, taking a minute to brainstorm what they already know about a topic is going to help them come up with that outside evidence. Now for the LEQ, you have no documents. And so for this part of your essay, you're going to need to address two specific pieces of evidence that are relevant to the prompt. And so that's how you get the first point on the LEQ. And so for this, you need to do the same thing as the DBQ. When you read the prompt, you need to brainstorm what you know about it. Now, to earn the second point on the LEQ, you have to use that evidence to support your argument. And so this is going to be an extra sentence or two where you're explaining how the evidence is related to the argument you are making. So what's the difference in just using evidence and using it to support an argument? Really, I think about for just using the evidence, which you need to do on the DBQ and the first point of the LEQ, is you want to identify and explain. So if you're talking about foreign policy, you might be identifying the Spanish-American War. So in the identify sentence, you're going to say the Spanish-American War was, and then you're going to explain what it was. You need to give some definition of what was happening in the Spanish-American War. So that's identify and explain. Then for the second point on the LEQ, where you're using it to support your argument, I think about the word connect. How does this connect to what I'm saying? This is where you would say something like, the U.S. involvement in the Spanish-American War demonstrated a change in their prior foreign policy as they began to intervene in other world affairs. And so that's where you can see you're taking a step farther, where you're not just identifying a piece of evidence and explaining it, but you're connecting it to the skill of the prompt. Maybe that's continuity and change over time, maybe it's comparison, maybe it's causation. But that's the difference in what you need to do to earn the first point on the LEQ and to get that second point. You really have to connect it to the argument, which I think is best done by having it connect to the skill of what you're trying to address in the essay. So today, March 9th, 2024, we are 62 days out from the APUSH exam. And today I want for you to understand how to get the outside evidence points on the DBQ and the LEQ.